Hey, folks, welcome in. This is Nettie bringing you nonstop information and edutainment. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Today, I want to talk about and do a follow up on Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard, she is the mayor of Dalton, Illinois. She has dubbed herself the super mayor. But I want to say that she is anything but. She is anything but. She is terrible. All right. To the 1 millionth power. And just when you think things could not get any worse, but wait, there's more. In the case of Tiffany Henyard, she is doing the residents such a disservice. In fact, she is acting as though she is not a public servant, that she has no one to answer to but herself. And she continues to treat the residents of Dalton, Illinois, like they are peasants. That's right, folks. Like they are peasants. Like she is Marie Antoinette telling them, let them eat cake. Meaning, I don't give a damn about their needs, their concerns, their wishes. I am the queen. That's how she acts. And it's just, you know, getting worse by the day. So I want to play a clip for you guys so that you can see just how worse it's gotten. Just hold tight.
Now to that continued controversy in Dalton, residents there, they're still fired up after they were shut out of last night's village board meeting.
So now we're hearing reports of even more shutouts. Dane Placco live with the latest from that community. Dane?
Yeah, you've probably heard of that old expression, you can't fight City Hall. Well, here in Dalton, you can't even get into City Hall, what you see back there. It's now on lockdown under its controversial mayor.
So what you mean? White people can't come in there? White people can't come in there. Now, let me tell you about that. This is a government building. I know y'all know this is a government building, right?
This cell phone video recorded by an angry resident last week who discovered that the door to Village Hall in Dalton is now locked. New security procedures went into place on Tuesday last week. The village says in response to threats against Mayor Tiffany Henyard and employees. Now residents have to talk to a security guard behind a window in the vestibule and conduct their business in that small, cramped area. Now this signal of exclusion only got amplified last night when about 25 Dalton residents were refused entry to the village board meeting. Four of the trustees then canceled the meeting by walking out, saying there was ample room for the crowd and refusing their entry is a violation of the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Today, I talked to a handful of Dalton residents who say they believe Mayor Henyard is trying to deprive them of village services and shut them out of the democratic process.
Now, you guys hear that. Essentially, she is gatekeeping entry into what should be the people's house, the village hall, where people go in Dalton to do their business. I imagine to pay on their bills, for example, a water bill, and they have to endure all types of scrutiny. They have to endure, I would say, way more scrutiny than the mayor, Tiffany Henyard. They are not even being allowed into the building. They have to stand outside to conduct their business with the village of Dalton. Talk about adding insult to injury. Tiffany Henyard, you need to resign. Clearly, you do not understand what your governmental role is. It's not to be lording over the people. It's to assist the people. It's not to make the people feel like they are less than. It is totally, folks, it's totally reprehensible what this woman is doing and being allowed to do. And I want to bring up another, to me, in some ways, similar. J6. That's right, J6. There were a lot of people who simply walked through the Capitol building on that day. Some of those people are still languishing in prison right now. Okay. Meanwhile, crooks, criminals are running rampant in a great deal of these democratic cities. So, yeah, the crooks are running rampant, the criminals are running rampant, and the people are being gaslit by their elected officials that everything's okay, that this is normal. Don't be alarmed. Just shut up and take it. And essentially, Tiffany Henyard, by not allowing people into the building and being saying that she's concerned with her safety. She's concerned with her safety. All right. And I'll just say here where I live, I've gone to the government building, the Secretary of State's building. You can see the video on my page. And to get into the building, you got to go through metal detectors. You've got to show ID. They've got to take your picture. And I find that very interesting that these politicians, they need so much security. They're so afraid. If you're that afraid of the people, then why are you in the position you're in? Why are you serving? Because you're not serving. You're only serving your daggone self. Same thing with J6. Our tax dollars pay for these places. But they want to tell the people it's something criminal for you to come into the building now. This is a trend. It didn't just start with Tiffany, it's a trend. Okay, let's take a look and see what more of the residents have to say.
We are being treated as the resident, I say we, as though we were in prison in our own town, in a place where we pay taxes. We can't get into our village hall.
She doesn't care about the residents at all. She wants to control everything, and it's all about what she wants. We're not sitting at the table, and that's bad.
Now, this afternoon, the village responded in a statement essentially blaming the media for all the coverage of the controversy here in Dalton, allegations of corruption. The village saying, quote, our staff and elected officials have received several disturbing communications via email, social media, phone calls, and visitors from across the country. As such, our security protocols have changed. but they do not say when they may change back and when residents may be able to regain entry into their village hall. Live in Dalton, Dane Placco.
So yeah, you heard the residents speak, basically saying that they don't feel as though Tiffany cares about them and that they are being treated, very badly as tax-paying citizens. And I would echo their sentiments. They're absolutely being treated like they're the scum of the earth. I mean, they are footing the bills, the citizens, the citizenry. And they are being treated like they don't matter. Like they don't matter, that they don't count. And it's happening more and more, folks. I mean, I'm highlighting Tiffany, but she's not the only one. She's probably the most, she probably has committed some of the most egregious acts. But this way of treating citizens as if they're criminals, it didn't start with her. I would implore any of you who don't know about the people who entered the Capitol building on J6 and what has been happening to some of those people. It's unconscionable. It's unconscionable. Next, let's talk about Mayor Eric Adams. Now, right before I get into speaking about Mayor Eric Adams, I want to thank each and every one of you, all of my new subscribers. I appreciate you. I truly do. And I do read your comments. And I'd like to ask each and every one of you, all right, all of my free thinkers out there, because I'm just an average, everyday American wife and mom. That's all I am. And I would ask that each of you go ahead and it's free, share, and subscribe to the channel. I would ask that each of you do that. That lets me know that what I'm saying, what I'm putting out on these internet streets is providing some value to someone out there. It keeps me going. Okay? I appreciate you. Okay, you guys. So let's listen to now what Mayor Eric Adams has
We're
to
down
say.
in crime in the We're down in crime in the subway system, folks, for the first quarter. We're down. We're down 24% in March. We're down in February. Can we please stop saying we're up in crime in our subway system? We are not. We're down in crime in the subway system. Right. No, well said. And I think you hit it out the park. And if we go back to, I don't know if it was March of 2022, I committed to cardinal sin and said, perception is playing into this. Everyone blasted me. Oh, you out of touch. It's not reality. I said it back then. I always knew from the days of being a transit cop, the perception can override this. So these guys can bring crime down to zero. But if you don't feel safe because you see this disorder going on, then you're going to say that, hey, we're not safe. And so what we are doing, what this team is doing, is making sure our officers are visible. When we hear from rioters and we say, what makes you feel unsafe? They say, we want to see our police officers.
Okay, folks. So you heard that, right? You heard that. I don't know what New York Mayor Eric Adams is smoking. All right. I don't know what he's smoking, but every time I look at the news, why do I see something about crime in New York, crime in New York's subways? I mean, even the governor of New York, Hochul, recently deployed the National Guard to the New York subway. Yeah, she did. But he wants us to think that, something's wrong in our heads, that we just, are imagining this. We just have the wrong perception. We have the wrong perception of what's going on, and crime is down. Now that's baloney, folks. And it's not even a fried bologna sandwich. Not even a fried bologna sandwich. Okay, folks, so let's take a deeper look.
Warranted, and it is worth repeating, gun arrests in the subway have doubled this year compared to all of last year. 7 on Your Side investigative reporter Dan Krauth here with a closer look for us. Dan.
Yeah, Lauren, we've been tracking crime and found while shootings have gone down above ground in New York City, they've actually increased underground. Crimes like this are a growing concern, and they're happening more often. The mayor sent.
Okay, I don't want to show too much of that because I don't want to get flagged. But so crime has been going. Let me just get back to here. 1 second, 1 moment. Make this a little smaller. I'll just read here, okay? So maps show transit crime in New York City amid increase in subway shootings, right? While shootings have gone down above ground in New York City, they've actually increased underground in the city's transit system. Shootings. There have been more subway shooting victims so far this year compared to all of last year. All right, keep in mind, folks, this article was written in March 15th. Today is April, beginning of April. All right. Plus, well, there have been more subway shootings so far this year compared to all of last year. Most of those victims were innocent bystanders involved in a subway platform shooting in the Bronx last month. Plus, more gun arrests have been made in the subway. There have been 17 arrests so far this year compared to 8 during all of 2023. All right. The mayor sent out a tweet last week stating transit crime is down 15%. That's true. If you all, that's a big if you compare the month of February 2024 to the same month in 2023. But year to date, crime is actually up 13% compared to last year. So pee on me and tell me it's raining. That's what Mayor Eric Adams is doing. He's playing with the numbers. Then here we got, it has been disturbing to see the subway crime go up, said Chris Herman, a professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice who studies crime. The big red flag for the NYPD is we've surpassed the number of shootings in the subway system for all of 2023. And here we are, it's only the beginning of March. Again, this was written March 15th. So they're playing with the numbers. They think people are stupid, and people don't feel safe. They don't feel safe. Let me see. People do not feel safe. But he wants to get all up in arms and upset and basically say that crime is down. What are you guys talking about? Something's wrong with you. You're just listening to the media. You're just listening to the media. You're not really paying attention to what's really going on. No, Mayor Adams. No. Crime is up. The people do feel unsafe. Your subway system is a mess. if the governor had to deploy National Guard down there. All right. Something ain't right, man. Something ain't right. All right. So next, I want to just show you something. Now, this doesn't have to do with the subway. All right. But we want to talk about New York. One of my favorite shows, you guys, was actually Boardwalk Empire. All right. I don't know how many of you guys have watched that show, but it was one of my favorites. And I just enjoyed it so much. Okay. And let's just take a look at this. Some of you may remember this guy, all right? Michael Stolbarg. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. All right. He is a Boardwalk Empire star. Look what the headline says, you guys. Boardwalk Empire star chases man who attacked him with a rock in New York. Okay? He just walking up and down the street, baby. He just walking up and down the street. Michael was. Let's read here. A man has been arrested and charged after a rock was thrown at actor Michael Stolbarg in New York. The Boardwalk Empire star suffered a cut after the unknown object struck him in the back of the neck, okay, while he was walking in New York City. He's just walking along, okay? Walking along. The 55-year-old then chased the suspect until officers stopped the man and took him into custody. Police identified the suspect as 27-year-old Xavier Israel, a homeless man who was arrested and charged on Sunday. New York City Police Department said the assault took place close to 90th Street and East Drive, and Stolbarg didn't want medical treatment afterwards. Then it goes on to talk about, some of his accolades. But, that don't sound too safe, does it? Does that sound safe to y'all? I mean, yes, it's not the subway system. He was above ground. He was walking around, right? But somebody threw a rock and hit him in the back of his neck. That could have been fatal, right? New York has a problem, as does many of the major blue cities, quote unquote blue cities. They're problematic. Crime goes unchecked. It is actually encouraged. It's encouraged by district attorneys and allowing people in and out, who should be kept in. Okay? Who should be kept in. Last, you guys, I want to show you this. Okay? So more and more people, you guys, are waking up. And it gives me hope. Okay? Hopefully more and more people, because it's going to take all of us, Americans, no matter what color you are, no matter what religion you are, no matter who you are. If you're American, we need you. Okay? And so more and more people are waking up, especially in the blue cities. All right? And I just want you to see this lady speak about leaving the Democratic Party, really, and why. I'll play it for you.
All right, so I noticed your hat, Chicago for Trump. What is the story? Who are you, and what's the story behind that hat?
Well, first of all, my name is Kata Truss, and I am a Chicagoan, and I was a lifelong Democrat until I really started paying attention to the Democratic policies and how they were hurting the city of Chicago. And I had decided that I had just had enough. And the migrant crisis is what really
The migrant crisis.
The migrant crisis took me over the edge.
What is that looking like in your city right now? The migrant
It
crisis.
is looking like a mess. It is a mess, and that's exactly what it is. But I started paying attention to not just the migrant crisis, but the democratic policies and how those policies have really hurt, not helped us. And I just decided I have to get off this ride and go for a walk.
Okay, you guys. So as you can see there, and I don't want to get flagged because it has music in the background, you all. But people are getting tired. People are leaving the Democratic plantation. People are wanting a better life. People want to be respected. They don't want to be treated like they're peasants. Like Tiffany Henyard is treating people like they're her citizens. Not her citizens, but the citizens of Dalton. She's treating them like they're peasants. And truth be told, they pay her salary. You see, these politicians need to eat some humble pie. Eric Adams, stop smoking whatever you're smoking and come to reality. Come to reality and put yourself in the shoes of average, everyday New Yorkers who are just trying to go back and forth to feed their family and afford to pay that high ass rent and food bill and gas. They're trying to survive. And yet you want to act like their fears, their thoughts are unfounded. When truly they have cause to feel overwhelmed, to feel unappreciated, and to feel unsafe. So, hey, free thinking crew, if you've enjoyed this broadcast, if you like what I'm putting down on these internet streets, if you vibe with me and see value in what I'm putting out here, free thinking people, free thinkers right here, free thinking crew, do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe, and that'll let me know, hey, it's worth it to be an average American citizen who is here saying enough from our government and the politicians. Thank you guys for rocking out with me. Till next time.